So we need to change out the snare. This could go a few different ways. We could get this kind of fat pillowy snare like this, which might be cool. It might be kind of heavy for the track, but let's try it out to see what this will give us. This is a big old fat, I think it's a 7x14, and it goes like this. Well, let's put it up and we'll hear it. So one of the tricky things about a snare like this is, number one, having a snare stand that goes low enough, which I don't know if this one does, but I'm trying to get it really low. So this snare sounds like this. Woo! Needs to be dampened a bit, but it's fat. We put a towel on this to really try to get the overtones out of it. There we go, that's better. So already to me, this seems a bit weighty. I think it's gonna weigh down the track. Once we get to the chorus, it's not gonna give us this kind of light, airy thing that we need to kind of float across the top. I think this is gonna be too thuddy. So let's try something else. Another thought for this might be something like this. This is an old Rogers. It's tuned up higher. This drum's really nice, this wood drum. This kind of it also has a kind of a fake calfskin head on it. This is American Vintage head by Aquarian. And this, yeah, it's kind of cool. This could work. This might be worth investigating in the track. It's also got a nice rim clip. It may be a little fat for the track. We want fat, but we don't want... Maybe need to be a little more modern too. So let's try it. Let's try it in the track a bit and see how it sounds. I'm going to start halfway through the first verse so we can get to the chorus and see how it sounds.
Wildfire sometimes burn you down. You know that I'm nothing without your love. You know sometimes loving is just what you want. Now what you want is ever chasing something you want. Now what you ever chasing something you want. When they told me I'm leaving, no, keeping love is not a secret. It should be easy, even when it's hard. And now they say I should have known.
All right, I like it. It's definitely got a Motown sound to it, but it doesn't seem to be, even through the headphones to me, it doesn't seem to be kind of cutting through track, and it doesn't really have the spread that I want from the snare in this track. You know, one thing I might want to try is lowering it. I didn't tune this to the track. So I'm going to lower it a bit. So here's one good thing about this drum. I'm not really hearing a pitch from this drum, so I think wherever this drum sits, I think because it's kind of dead. I think because it's kind of dead, we don't really have to worry about the pitch of the snare at all. But now we're getting back into this kind of weighty area already that the previous one had. Let's just play. Yeah, To me, it's just too dry, and that's part of the head that's on it, and that's part of the wood. To me, wood drums they lack, I guess maybe they lack a high end or kind of an openness that metal drums do, and I think this is just going to get sucked up by the track. So I love this drum, but I still don't think it's the right thing. Let's check out another. Okay, so this drum right here, this is a pretty great drum. This makes it on a lot of kind of rock tracks, and this looks pretty similar to this here. But as you can see, there's less lugs. This is a 6-lug. This is an 8-lug, sorry. So this is a 6-lug. So 6-lug drums tend to just be lower in general. You can't get them as high. And this drum has an amazing spread on it. It really fits in well for some things. I use it on a lot of kind of pop tracks. I don't know for this R&B Motown feel, if it's gonna be right. As you can hear, it's pretty open. Loosen the snares a bit. Right. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna play half a tune. I'll do the exact same, pretty much the exact same length. Love like a wildfire, sometimes burn you down. You know that I'm nothing without your love. You know sometimes loving is just what you want. Now what you wish is every chance that I'm something you want. Now what you have is every chance that I'm something you want. When they told me I'm leaving, no, keeping love is not a secret. It should be easy, even when it's hard. Now they say I should know I might end up on my own. I play by numbers, just another lonely heart. You know that I'm nothing without your love. Okay, so yeah, this drum doesn't really feel like the right drum to me. It's got a really great spread. It's kind of a gushy sound, which for some tracks, actually some tracks that are really thick with guitars and keyboards, this drum has an amazing way of sitting in. I guess the lack of attack, and it just kind of goes poof. It really seems to sink into tracks that are really thick. With this track, I think it's lacking some attack and lacking some presence that this track needs. So the track to me is such a soft vibe, I guess, that you know, to give it some juxtaposition, you want to have some oomph in there. So it's not just, you know, it's not just all mushy. As much as I love this drum, still don't think it's the right one. I think my next option would be this guy. So this is a 30s era, or maybe 20s, I can't remember. 20s era Ludwig chrome over brass. It's got these really old school thin rims. Man, this drum can do so much. Can go high, can go low. It's tight. So you can hear the difference already. Let me see if I can do an A-B for you. Especially because they look so similar. Similar size, the same heads, slightly different tuning, but you can really hear the difference here. Oop. To me, this drum is much more, it has a short sound It's really subtle. So obviously this one is tuned higher. But this has an attack to it. Splat, punch. Some of it could be related to the higher tuning, but in general, more lugs. It's pulling on the head more all around. It's going to give a tighter sound. It's got a great touch. And it's still fat. Really fat for a small drum like this. So let's try this in the track. Let's just see how this fits.
Since you left, love like a wildfire sometimes burn you down. You know that I'm nothing without your love. You know sometimes loving is just what you want. Now what you have is ever chasing something you want. Chance from something you want. When they told me I'm leaving, no, keeping love is not a secret. It should be easy, even when it's hard. Now they say I should know I might end up on my own. I play by the numbers, just another.
Okay, so, you know, intuitively, I'm pretty sure these Agap hi-hats are the way to go for this, because they have a kind of modern-y vintage thing, which means they have a nice high end, but they also have kind of a dirtiness to it. But just for an extreme example, let's check out some real crusty hi-hats. These are called Peisty Ludwig hats, and I found them on eBay years ago. They're super cheap. I think these were 75 bucks on eBay. And these things are really great for some things. I did some 70s funk tracks recently, and these things were perfect. They're gnarly. But the thing that hi-hats can do is they can really, I think they can change the kind of the tone of the snare, of how we hear the snare blended. So let's do this quick. So these hi-hats sound like this. They're pretty thin. You can hear when you open it, kind of goes, oh, oh. When you open it up like that, they don't really ring. They're pretty dry. So as you can hear, they kind of bark. They're pretty dry. So for some Motown things, Motown style things, I think these would be really cool because they're crusty. They have a darkness to them, but this track seems to me is to be much cleaner. You know, I said modern vintage before. We kind of want to retain that Motown feeling vibe, but we don't want to go that crusty because the track, it doesn't sound like that. The track is much cleaner. It's much prettier.